Hi, I'm Chanelle, one of the journalists at Manx Radio. Welcome to the latest edition of Manx Radio Newscast.
So what we have here is our latest find of Viking Age treasure from the Isle of Man. This is a hoard of silver coins, silver pennies that were known as at the time. These are from Ireland and from England, and they were buried in around about AD 1065, 1070, so 1,000 years ago. We do have quite a lot of Viking Age silver from the Isle of Man, but any time something like this comes up, it tells us more about that really significant period of Manx history. These coins in particular are in really good condition. They're nice, high-quality silver, and they've got some fantastic images of some of the kings of Ireland and England from the time as well. So they're really lovely objects in themselves.
Oh, perfect. In terms of the coins, have there been a number of these kinds of finds in terms of these types of coins, or are they the first of its kind, or is it a bit more common?
It's quite complex because it was quite a complex economy, even back then on the island. These coins are not unique, but there's a collection of these coins that we haven't had so many of from other hoards. So it gives us this indication of quite a mobile, vibrant economy. So we've got lots of coins from that were minted under the reign of Edward the Confessor in England, but they were minted in lots of different coins around England, York, Hastings, Lincoln. So although they're not the first of this type of coins from the Isle of Man, all these things tell us something just a little bit more about that period.
So, David, you made the discovery. What went through your mind when you found these? Did you even know what you were looking at, or how did it happen?
Like I said, it was in the field, and my mate was going up and down one side, and I was hovering this side, and nothing. So I decided to go out, come back in, put my spade in the ground, walked over to him, and I said, "We're not finding much in here, are we? Do you want to go somewhere else?" And he says, "Yeah, we'll go somewhere else." So that was no problem. So I walks back to the machine, puts the things on. Next thing, walks 2 paces. Zzz, I thought, dig it. What it was a little lead pellet. So you think. Next, I walked again, 2 or 3 paces. Got the same sort of signal, but a little bit quicker. And I thought, "Oh, dig that one." Dug it, flipped the sod over, and that little coin there came out, one of them, I think it's that one. And I'm looking at it, going, "I'm sure that's a Norman coin," because I can see the little pointy hat on it, and I'm thinking, "Is that a Norman coin, like a Henry I?" And I'm looking at it and going, never mind. And I looked at the back of it, and I just sank to my knees then, because I seen the little cross. I thought, wow, and it's not a Norman coin, because they don't come like that. I think it's earlier. So I was looking around for my mate, and he disappeared. I'm like, "Where's he gone?" So I filled the hole in and chased him down the field. I'm like, John, come back. And you wouldn't believe I found one in there. He goes, "What have you found?" I said, "Well, have a look at that." So he looked at the front of it, and then I said, "Look at the back of it." And he looked at the back of it. He said, "I'm sure that's a Viking coin." He says, "Is it anything to do with that little bit you found?" I said, "Oh, I don't know." I said, "Because it's different." So as it was, I got it home and this, that, and I had a look on the book, and the Spinks book, and I could see one's close to it, but there was just something different about that one. And next thing, some lad put up on one of the hammered coin sites, Edward the Confessor coins, and I'm looking at it, and I clicked on one of the coins, and went, "That's the same as the one I've got." It was identical. I'm like, wow. So I phoned him up and told him. So we went back a few days later, went back to where I found that one, put my earphones on, done everything, walked a few paces, next thing, bang, I guess gets another hit. I'm like, whoa, picks it out of the ground, I'm like, there's another one. And my mate was over there, he was digging a hole. I said, "Have you got a hit there?" He said, "Yes." And it was a 10 on his machine. I said, "Dig everything." So then I jumped again 2 paces, and boom, and another one. I'm like, "Oh no, what's happening here?" And then another one. I'm like, "No, it can't be happening." And next thing, we ended up in this area, and like I said, all hell broke loose. And it was like every signal's in the ground, and it was like this whole field, this whole area is come alive. Like I was like, what do you mean? He said, "Well, I'm hearing everything in the ground," and his pinpointer went on the blink, so we were down to one pinpointer. So I thought, right, I'll get in here. I said, I'll dig them. I said, you pin them, I'll dig them and extract them. So every time he's moving the coin, he said, there's another one there, and there's another one there, and little fragments here, and full coins there. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, how many have you got? He said, oh, I've got 5, 10, 15, and just kept going up and up and up. And I'm like, oh. And 4 hours later, phoned Alison up, and I says, oh, I think we've found a load of coins. She goes, what are they? I says, Ethelreds. She went, whoa, get them in here. So we brought them down, and that was it. So, and there they are.
What went through your mind, when you just received this call about these coins that were found?
It's always really exciting, and I'm in a very, very privileged position here, really, as curator of archaeology. The finders of, the coins like this, or all the other fantastic artefacts we have, they're the first people to see these things since they were buried in the ground or lost or whatever. And I'm the next person to see it. So it's always really, really exciting. You also have to sort of go into a little bit of curator mode as well. So, I always say to, the guys that go out metal detecting, and, they know now they find something and there's mud or dirt on the objects, try and resist the urge to clean them. And that's exactly what John and David did. It was brilliant. They were finding all these things that they knew were Viking Age coins, and would be really exciting, but they just resisted the urge to take that little bit of mud off. The reason we ask that is just sometimes that mud preserves perhaps just the remains of perhaps a container that they may have been buried in. So once they come into the museum, then my colleague Christopher Weeks, our conservator, can have a closer look at the objects, and then we can do a bit of light cleaning. So it needs a lot of restraint from the finders sometimes, but it's always the highlight of my day, absolutely, when I get a call like that.
What does it also show about the richness of the history on the island, as well as what the island has to offer? I mean, there's been so many findings over the years, and I'm sure there'll be so many more to come.
I think that's one of the key things for me, is we keep getting finds like this, and it's not just that we're getting the numbers of finds, it's the quality of the material. These coins are in really nice condition, the detail's really good on them, and that tells us that 1,000 years ago, in the case of the Viking Age, there was a very strong, vibrant economy and a wealthy society, in parts at least, on the island. We're a small place, but we're right in the middle of this trading empire, really, that the Vikings had 1,000 years ago. And it's evident that the Isle of Man was a hugely significant place for the wider Viking world. And it's significant for us as well, our Tinwald that, guides us through our everyday life, our parliament, that they have their origins at this time when these coins were being used and when they were being buried. So it's it's a hugely significant illustration for the Isle of Man.
Oh, perfect. Now, David, how long have you been going around with the metal detector for?
I'd say about 20 years.
Is it a sport or hobby?
It's a hobby. It's an addictive hobby. Trust me, it is. If you ever pick one up, because like I said, you're going around and you don't know what you're going to find. It's like, well, I've been, like I said, doing it for 20 years now, or thereabouts. John's been doing it most probably a bit longer than me, and well, that's the end product, isn't it?
Is this the first time that you've had a find like this?
Them coins, yeah, because they're like hen's teeth, them things. But yeah, well, like John's been through it a couple of times with different things, but that's my first time anyway.
And do you foresee that you'll continue to do?
Oh yeah. Like I said, it's addictive. You just, once you get hooked on it, that's it.
What's been some of your other finds?
I've had Roman brooches, haven't I? Well, I'm saying Roman brooches, it could be Celtic, I don't know. That's about it, really. And I've had hammered coins, nothing like that. They're the earliest ones we've had. 1100s, 1500s, 1700s, 1600s. What was that? I'm just missing the Norman coins, that little here. But that's my next one, hopefully.
So finds like this are the ones that are legally declared treasure, but artefacts are coming up from the Isle of Man all the time, and it's largely the metal detecting community that find these artefacts. So, Dave's found some brooches that date to a good few hundred years earlier than these coins in the past. And we're really grateful for all the finders of these artefacts and the landowners as well, because a lot of the time perhaps the artefacts with the less of a profile perhaps still are really important to help us illustrate the story of the Isle of Man, and those come into the Manx National Collections here at the museum. So this is only part of the story, but it's a really exciting part.
Thank you for making it to the end of the Manx Radio Newscast. You are obviously someone with exquisite taste. May I politely suggest you might want to subscribe to this and a wide range of Manx Radio podcasts at your favourite podcast provider, so our best bits will magically appear on your smartphone. Thank you.